you can't blame the youth for wanting to be rappers, entertainers, and influencers. And not just the youth, just anybody, period, if you think about it, right? And what made me spark this conversation is because I seen a post on Facebook and it basically said, we don't need rappers and entertainers. We need mechanics, electricians, plumbers, and so on. I seen a few posts like that. Another one said we don't need entertainers and athletes. We need doctors, lawyers, and engineers. Which there is truth to that, but at the same time, I can see why people would rather be a streamer, an influencer, a rapper, because if you think about it, especially, to the youth, right? The youth is real impressionable. So if you think about it, if the youth see all these streamers and these rappers with all the fancy cars, all the fancy clothes, all the fancy jewelry, uh, going on all the best vacations in the big houses, big mansions, with all the women, what do you think they're going to gravitate towards, right? They're going to gravitate more towards, wanting to be an entertainer. Now, you can make good money in a lot of these professions. You can make good money in the trades, and you can also make good money working white collar, being an accountant, lawyer, engineer, any of that. You can make good money in those fields, but at the same time, there's not no Casanet, no Speed, no DDG money, or no Lil Wayne, no Drake money. So you can't get mad at people for wanting to be like those people at the top of the top, in the top 1%. You know, living an average lifestyle is cool to some people, but some people want to live that exceptional lifestyle. Now, I'm going to say this, right? It takes a lot to get to that level, even if you're following your dream. Whether it's to be a rapper, athlete, entertainer, influencer, it still takes a lot of work to get to that level. It's not easy getting to that level. I heard some streamers say they don't sleep for days. Some of these rappers be in the studio for days. Music producers, they putting out 5 beats a day in the studio all day long. That's their life. Which, like I said, is nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna say this, because I'm gonna kind of play the devil advocate on this, right? In certain cases, it is just as realistic to become a rapper, entertainer, streamer, or influencer doing well for themselves. Just like, the chances of doing that is just as equal to becoming a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, becoming real successful in the trades, because that's hard work as well, right? So if you think about it, right, if someone graduated out of high school and they be like, my dream is to become an influencer, and they put out content every day, right? Because if you think about it, to go to school to be an engineer, that's like 5 years. Doctor, lawyer, 7 years. Get you a IT major, whether it's cybersecurity or computer science or something like that. That's gonna take 4 to 5 years, and those degrees are not easy to get. So you're really going to have to work hard to get those degrees. So think about it, right? someone say, you know what, I don't want to go the college route, but instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put out content every day for these next 5 years, and I'm going to be consistent with the content. They can be just as successful, if not even more successful, than somebody that goes to engineering school and get an engineering job. And not to mention, this person went to engineering school and they racked up debt or whatever, and they may or may not get a job, especially in this job market. So it's a possibility that they could or could not get the job. It's a 50-50 chance. Especially if they don't have no experience or no internship experience. It's still gonna be kind of a challenge to get a job, but they still may be able to. So say somebody that put in 5 years, whether it's becoming a rapper, becoming a content creator, becoming a streamer, influencer, singer, actor, whatever, athlete, whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever. And they just started recording content as soon as they get out of high school. And then 5 years later, they most likely is going to be in a better position than that engineer if they know how to go about everything the right way, whether that's marketing themselves the right way, staying consistent, staying disciplined, and continue to put out content. They can make a pretty good name for themselves, and they'll have their own brand within that 5 years. So it's most definitely same thing with the music. You know, people are blowing up off of just crazy hit songs these days. So you think about it. If you stay consistent with putting out music, it may not be no one hit song, but you can build a consistent fan base. You can build a following on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case may be. You can start monetizing that. Within 5 years or 7 years, you can be just as successful as a lawyer starting off, because they still got student loan debt to pay. And then they're not guaranteed a job. And then most like low level lawyers, they don't start off making that much. That's the same thing with the trades. Now within that 5 years, within the trades, within that 5 years, say if they start an apprenticeship, you're topping out within a 5 year span. So the people in the trades is gonna be pretty well to do off as well. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to school for engineering. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go pursue being a doctor or a lawyer. I'm not saying that at all. You should most definitely do that. But you can't blame the youth for wanting to do that, because it's just as much as a chance that they could be successful with it. Just as any other career choice, because we have the internet now. We can promote ourselves now. We don't have to go to no big record labels. We don't have to wait for anybody. All we have to do is just press record, and you can start your journey there. Build your personal brand right then from there. Start from there. So yes, it's just as much as a chance that an entertainer or an influencer can make it and be even more well off than a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, because there's no cap on their salary, because it just goes by how well they do, right? Now, on the other hand, this is where people mess up, right? If you're younger and you're a kid and you're under the age of 18 and you don't got no bills and stuff for yourself, it's not really concerning you. This is concerning more of the people who are grown and have responsibilities and just chasing a dream, but not dealing with reality. Well, the reality is, us as adults, We have bills to pay. Uh, we have to take care of some things. You may even have some kids. If you have kids, you definitely got to be doing something. And that's just the reality of things. We don't live in a free world. It costs money to do stuff. It costs money to make money. So if you think about it, even if you want to do all this stuff, you're gonna want to upgrade your equipment. It's gonna take a while to take off. So you still have to be making money while doing it. And that's the thing. Uh, people they don't want to work a job to the point to where they can stack up their money and then start to invest in themselves or whatever endeavors they want to do. They just chase dreams, and they just chase they dreams, and some of them ain't even like consistent with doing with what they supposed to do, like as far as like streaming and stuff and putting out content. Some people is not even consistent with that, and they're not even working either. So it's just like it's going to take a while to take off. It's not going to be overnight, and you don't want to be a starving artist. So you want to at least be able to make some type of money. You want to be able to bring something in to invest into yourself or whatever endeavor you're trying to do or whatever business you're trying to do. You're still going to need money for that. If you're a rapper and you ain't got no money, how you gonna buy some nice fits for your music videos? How you gonna even pay for a music video? I mean, you can do videos on your phone, but you're gonna want to start to upgrade slowly but surely. You're gonna want to start to upgrade. I mean, yes, you can most definitely start. The first thing is start, but while you doing that, you can still be bringing bread in. You can still be bringing money in. So you can actually do both. You can be a mechanic and be an influencer. It's a, I mean, it's a lot of mechanics and people's in the trades with YouTube channels, and I'm pretty sure they don't monetize they YouTube channels, and maybe they teaching people certain things. They can monetize that skill and build their own brand, just monetizing whatever skill they have or whatever knowledge. Say somebody that went to school to become a doctor or whatever, they are a doctor. They can All they got to do is press play and monetize and get kind of give out some knowledge about being a doctor or how to become a doctor or what it's going to take. Same thing with any profession. So the realistic thing is, I don't blame the youth for wanting to do that, but the thing is, or any adult, any young adult that's pursuing their dreams. But the thing is, you have to also be realistic as well. You know, if you're an adult, you're gonna have responsibilities. If you're not already an adult, you're gonna have responsibilities, and if you are adult, you do have responsibilities. And if I mean even if you're living with your parents and stuff like that, you still want to be able to build up, stack up your money. You're going to want to be able to get your own place eventually. You're going to want to be able to invest in your craft. So the issue is that people may be so big on dream chasing that they're not dealing with their reality. And then it could be the other way around, right? Some people may just be too much into, bills and just staying where they at, that, you know, they're not thinking outside the box enough. Like some people may be too close minded. And you got people that hate on people that follow their dreams because they aspire more than just working at a company until maybe they retire or whatever. Maybe, and you got people like that, and which is nothing wrong with that, but you can't get mad at other people for aspiring to do more. So my thing is, if you're an adult with responsibilities, there needs to be a balance. If you're a kid and you're looking at this, I say start now. Start while you don't have no bills. Start while you don't have no responsibilities. Try to see what you can do to get whatever equipment you need, whether it's music production, whether it's you want to be a music artist, whether uh, you want to stream, make videos. My thing is, if you're young, start now before you get responsibilities, and stay consistent with it. If you stay consistent with it, maybe within the next 3 to 5 years, you can be up here with it. You can be in a decent spot with it. You can have a name for yourself if you just stay consistent with it. And then by the time you get grown, you may already be making money from, you may already be monetized to where maybe you don't have to go straight to no job or go straight to school. But if you have responsibilities, you have kids, you're grown, it's cool to have dreams still and working towards your dreams still, but you have to also deal with reality, especially in this economy. Don't quit your job, work your job. Don't quit your job unless you're making 2 to 3 times whatever you're making on your job. Because even if you may have some good times where you finally do get some money coming in, but that it may not always be like that. So unless don't quit your job if you have a job unless you're making consistently 2 to 3 times what you're making at your job consistently, and save up for a rainy day. And if you don't have no job and you just working on your dreams or whatever, or maybe you haven't even put in the action to work towards your dreams, you're just daydreaming. Well, that's even worse. So I'll say start somewhere, work towards your dream, get you a job so you can handle your responsibilities. You need money to make money, and that's just how it works. So that's all I had to talk about today. I seen that post on the internet, and I just want to talk about this today. So y'all have a good day. Peace.